She was 9 when she picked up a perfume bottle by the river. One touch and she stopped being human. Her parents went broke. Every home she entered collapsed. Children fell sick. Businesses died. Then she got pregnant, and the baby started talking from the womb. By midnight, a pastor would expose her, and what came out of her mouth terrified everyone.
The town of Juba was not just a place of geography. It was a place of deep, swelling mysteries. It was a confluence town, the exact geographical point where the dark, rushing waters of River Ota violently collided and merged with the calmer, deeper currents of River Babe. For generations, the elders and locals believed that this was no ordinary meeting of waters. It was the place where the gods of the two rivers joined forces. Because of this potent spiritual atmosphere, the confluence attracted a massive influx of traditional worshippers, herbalists, and white garment churches, all seeking to tap into the raw, concentrated spiritual powers of the waters. Nestled uncomfortably close to this spiritual epicenter was an old, weathered institution, Obata Primary School. The school authorities, well aware of the heavy concentration of marine spirits believed to inhabit the riverbanks, had instated strict rules. Pupils were absolutely forbidden from going down to the river to fetch water or play, except in heavily supervised groups. But children are inherently curious, and the pull of the water was strong. One sweltering afternoon, a group of pupils from Obata Primary went down to the beach to fetch water. Among them was a young, seemingly ordinary girl named Adobi. While the others splashed and filled their buckets, Adobi's eyes caught a small, extraordinarily slim bottle of perfume. The glass was ornate, catching the sunlight in mesmerizing ways. Compelled by a force she could not understand, Adobi secretly snatched the bottle from the sand and tucked it deep inside her uniform pocket, telling no one. The following morning, while walking the dusty path to school, the temptation became too much. Adobi stopped beneath a cashew tree, pulled out the beautiful bottle, and opened it. The fragrance that hit the air was intoxicating, sweet, oceanic, and overwhelming. She applied a few drops to her skin, carefully sealed it, and placed it safely inside her school bag. When she arrived at school, the scent immediately drew a crowd. Her friends swarmed her, completely captivated by the otherworldly aroma, begging her to let them apply just a little bit. Feeling proud, Adobi reached into her bag to share it, but as her hands rummaged through her books and pens, her heart dropped. The bottle was gone. It had vanished completely into thin air, never to be seen again. Adobi didn't know it, but in the spiritual realm, a permanent contract had just been sealed. From the exact moment that liquid touched her skin, she had been initiated into the highest ranks of the marine spirit kingdom cult. Her human personality died that day, replaced by a cold, calculating, and ruthless marine agent. Her life's new mandate was absolute: demolish mankind, destroy any good thing that might come their way, and act as a stumbling block to human progress. The spiritual training began immediately. In the dark hours of the night, while her physical body slept, her spirit was pulled deep beneath the confluence of the rivers. The marine spirits taught her the ancient arts of manipulation and destruction. They gave her physical minted money in her dreams, money she would wake up to find under her pillow. They instructed her to use this money to buy sweets and biscuits for the pupils at Obata Primary. The trap was simple but devastating. Any child who accepted and ate her sweets was instantly initiated into the marine kingdom. She became a recruiter, building an army of child agents. To prove her loyalty to her new masters, Adobi was commanded to start her destruction at home. She released a plague of sicknesses upon her own family. Her siblings and parents fell ill with strange, undiagnosable ailments. Her parents drained their meager savings, paying exorbitant hospital bills. Next, she attacked their livelihood. Her father's business collapsed overnight, and her mother's petty trading dried up. Starvation crept into their home. Unable to feed themselves or pay school fees, their parents turned on each other, their home echoing with violent quarrels and bitter fights. Defeated by poverty, the parents made the agonizing decision to send their children away to live with other families. Adobi was sent off to live as a housemaid for a very wealthy family in the city, tasked with looking after their children and doing chores. For the Marine Kingdom, this was a perfect deployment. Shortly after arriving at the estate, Adobi initiated all three of the family's children. The eldest son, Nandi, who had always been a brilliant, top-of-the-class student, suddenly lost his cognitive abilities. His grades plummeted so drastically that he took the second-to-last position in his class. The wife of the house, a kind woman who loved having Adobi around to help with chores, was suddenly struck by terrible, blinding migraine headaches that left her bedridden for days. Adobi then turned her sights on the husband, a wealthy businessman. Gradually, his lucrative contracts were cancelled, his investments failed, and he found himself entangled in a series of highly stressful, inexplicable police cases. Having thoroughly wicked the family and stripped them of their joy, Adobi changed her demeanor. She became incredibly stubborn, disobedient, and hostile. When the wealthy family could no longer bear her insubordination, they fired her and sent her packing. As they watched her walk out of their gates, they felt a sense of relief, never once associating this young, quiet girl with the catastrophic failures that had suddenly ruined their lives.
Adobi returned home. She found her family even more wretched than before. They were practically destitute and could not afford to accommodate her for more than 48 hours. Within 2 days, they found another placement for her. This time, she was sent to serve a young, comfortable, and upwardly mobile family. The wife, Unoma, was an ambitious, hard-working banker, and her husband, Ikenna, was a highly successful trader.
How can I assist you
They
today?
owned a beautiful home, drove a nice car, and had 2 young children, a 3-year-old boy named Obum and a delicate 1-year-old baby girl named Amara. They badly needed a house help because of their demanding careers. Adobi's primary duties were to wake the children, prepare them for school, bring them back, and maintain the house. However, Adobi's true duty, mandated by the dark waters of Juba, was to inflict maximum physical and spiritual punishment on the innocent, especially babies. The torment of the children began behind closed doors. Adobi utilized horrifying manifestations. When she was alone with baby Amara, Adobi would spiritually transform into a massive, cold-blooded python. She would slither and crawl around the baby's crib. The infant, able to see the spiritual terror, would cry hysterically, shivering in sheer panic. After these repeated traumatizing ordeals, little Amara would be left jacking with fever and night terrors. Adding physical cruelty to spiritual abuse, Adobi would drink the baby's nutritious milk and eat her specialized food, forcing her own heavy adult meals down the infant's throat. Because of the sheer wickedness she radiated, 3-year-old Obum developed a deep, instinctive terror of her. He would scream if she came near him, refusing to let her touch his toys or help him put on his clothes. Unoma and Ikenna were baffled by their son's sudden behavioral issues, completely unaware of the demonic presence in their nursery. Unoma, returning late and exhausted from the bank every day, was not observant enough to notice the subtle fading of her children's happiness. Because Adobi handled all the bathing and dressing, Unoma never discovered the small, inexplicable wounds and scratches inflicted on her babies. Eventually, Adobi successfully initiated both toddlers into the marine cult, altering their destinies entirely. With the children secured,
Adobi turned her attention to the adults. She manipulated Ikenna's mind, twisting his heart to favor her over his wife. Whenever Unoma, sensing something was wrong, brought a complaint about Adobi's behavior, Ikenna would explode in anger. He would scold Unoma, taking the maid's side and causing bitter marital quarrels. Having divided the couple, Adobi attacked Unoma at the bank, causing massive errors in her work that led to severe disciplinary actions. She wanted Unoma to find no peace at work or at home. But her cruelty toward Unoma went much deeper. The marine kingdom despised creation and life. Whenever Unoma became pregnant, Adobi and her coven would spiritually insert pebbles into her womb. These demonic stones caused Unoma to suffer agonizing, repeated miscarriages. She bled constantly and spent vast amounts of money hopping from one specialist clinic to another, looking for a medical solution to a spiritual attack. Finally, Adobi targeted Ikenna's pride and joy, his car and his business. During her astral projections to the marine coven, Adobi spiritually dismantled the engine of Ikenna's car. In the physical realm, the car developed endless unfixable engine problems, forcing Ikenna to waste his money at the mechanic every single week. Then, she stood at the entrance of his shop in the spirit realm, chasing away his biggest customers. She manipulated the minds of out-of-town buyers, making them find unnecessary faults with his products. Business agreements were dishonored, debts were left unpaid, and his once overflowing funds ran dangerously low. One evening, Unoma, driven to the edge of despair, connected the dots. Ever since Adobi stepped into this house, everything has gone haywire. She told her husband, tears in her eyes, "Maybe this girl is a witch or a marine agent. We have to send her packing." Under Adobi's heavy spiritual influence, Ikenna became so enraged he almost struck his wife. Now maturing into a teenager, Adobi was highly experienced in the art of deception. Sensing that her mistress was catching on, she momentarily relaxed her evil grip. Suddenly, a massive, lucrative business deal came through for Ikenna. Triumphant, he confronted Unoma, using the sudden windfall to prove that their previous struggles were just normal business fluctuations. "Let's remove this innocent girl from our troubles," he argued. But the peace was short-lived. Weeks later, the business plunged even deeper into ruin. Unoma's mysterious bleeding worsened, and doctors definitely concluded there was absolutely no medical reason for her inability to carry a child. The sheer weight of the tragedy finally broke through Ikenna's manipulated mind. He began to consider his wife's worries. The breaking point arrived one horrifying night. Obum and Amara could not sleep. They screamed through the night, their eyes wide of unseen terrors, behaving like feral creatures and absolutely refusing to lie on their beds. By morning, a furious and exhausted Ikenna ordered Adobi to pack her bags immediately. Unoma stood guard, ensuring she took nothing that didn't belong to her. As Ikenna drove Adobi back to her village via a dusty back road, the atmosphere in the car was thick with tension. Adobi, sitting in the back seat, gave Ikenna a look of pure, concentrated demonic hatred through the rear-view mirror. Instantly, a deafening crack echoed through the car. The front windshield completely shattered, webbing with glass as if an invisible boulder had been hurled at it. Ikenna slammed on the brakes, utterly bewildered. A second later, the rear windshield exploded outward in the exact same manner. Ikenna needed no further proof. He realized with chilling clarity that they had been harboring a daughter of Satan. While Ikenna trembled for his life and prayed desperately that he would survive the drive, Adobi simply sat back in her seat, clutching her bag, completely unbothered. Back in her family, as she grew into a young woman with a fine physique and a strikingly pretty face, her parents sent her to work for one last family. This time, she was sent to the home of Ojide. Unlike her previous masters, Ojide was a deeply rooted traditionalist. Though his family attended church to keep up appearances, he was an unapologetic practitioner of ancient African traditions. Adobi found it incredibly difficult to operate in Ojide's house. His spiritual defenses were robust.
One night, Ojide called Adobi into his living room. He looked at her with piercing, knowing eyes. "I have seen who you are," Ojide said, his voice low and dangerous. "I am not going to send you away, but you will run away from this house if you continue. Nobody is begging you to stop. You will run by yourself. I have lived with those far more dangerous than you. If you enjoy what you are doing, you can continue." For the first time since she picked up the perfume bottle, Adobi felt fear. The traditionalist's power was too raw, too ancient. One afternoon, when Ojide and his family were out of the house, Adobi hastily gathered her belongings and fled back to her village, vowing never to work as a maid again.
Please subscribe, like, and wait for part 2. Because that's where you'll see the man who dared to challenge Adobe's power.